Hello everyone, Namaste, welcome to Start Small Achieve Big. Today's video is about secret to self-control. In 1991, as the Vietnam War was heading into 16th year, Congressman Robert Steele and Murphy from Illinois made a discovery that stunned the American public. While visiting the troops, they had learned that over 15% of US soldiers stationed there were heroin addicts. Robin was one of the researchers in charge, found that when soldiers who had been heroin users returned home, approximately 9 out of 10 soldiers who used heroin in Vietnam eliminated their addiction nearly overnight. With this, Robin revealed that addictions could spontaneously dissolve if there was a radical change in the environment. In Vietnam, soldiers spent all day surrounded by cue triggering heroin use. It was easy to access. They were engulfed by the constant stress of war. They built friendships with fellow soldiers who were also heroin users, and they were thousands of miles from home. Let us compare this situation to that of a typical drug user. Someone becomes addicted at home or with friends, goes to a clinic, get clean, which is devoid of all the environmental stimuli that prompt their habit, then returns to their old neighborhood with all of their previous cues that caused them to get addicted in the first place. It's no wonder that usually you see numbers that are exact opposite those in the Vietnam study. Typically, 90% of heroin users became re-addicted once they returned to home from rehab. Scientists analyze people who appear to have tremendous self-control. It turns out those individuals aren't all that different from those who are struggling. Instead, disciplined people are better at structuring their lives in a way that does not require heroic willpower and self control. In other words, they spend less time in tempting situations. The people with the best self control are typically the ones who need to use it the least. It's easier to practice self restraint when you don't have to use it very often. So, yes, perseverance, grit, and willpower are essential to success. But the way to improve these qualities is not by wishing you were more disciplined person, but by creating a more disciplined environment. In building our habits, environment often matters more. So in the next video, we will discuss about environment often matters more, where motivation is overrated. Please stay tuned with my channel by subscribing. A habit that has been encoded in the mind is ready to be used whenever the relevant situation arises. When Patty Owell, a therapist from Austin, Texas, started smoking, she would often light up while riding horses with a friend. Eventually, she quit smoking and avoided it for years. She had also stopped riding. Decades later, she hopped on a horse again and found herself craving a cigarette for the first time in forever. The cues were still internalized. She just hadn't been exposed to them in a long time. Once a habit has been encoded, the urge to act follows whenever the environmental cues reappear. This is one reason behavior change techniques can backfire. Usually, bad habits are autocatalytic. The process feeds itself. The foster feelings they try to numb. Researchers refer to this phenomena as cue-induced wanting. An external trigger causes a compulsive craving to repeat a bad habit. Once you notice something, you begin to want it. This process is happening all the time, often without us realizing it. Scientists had found that showing addicts a picture of cocaine for just 33 milliseconds stimulates the reward pathway in the brain and sparks desire. This speed is too fast for the brain to consciously register. The addicts could not even tell you what they had seen, but they craved the drug all the same. Here is a punchline: you can break a habit, but you are unlikely to forget it. That means simply resisting temptations is an ineffective strategy. Instead, cut bad habits off at the source. One of the most practical ways to eliminate bad habits is to reduce exposure to the cue that causes it. For example, if you can't seem to get any work done, leave your phone in another room for few hours. This practice is an inversion of the first law of behavior change. Rather than make it obvious, you can make it invisible. Remove a single cue and the entire habit often fades away. Self-control is a short-term strategy, not a long-term one. You may be able to resist temptations once or twice, but it's unlikely you can master the willpower to override your desires every time. The secret to self-control is to make the cues of your good habits obvious and the cues of your bad habits invisible. So guys, that's all for today's video. I hope you really enjoyed the video and learned something new from this video. If you really like the video, please hit the like button and please stay tuned with my channel by subscribing. Thanks for watching.